Today, I am going to be speaking about the dream of the planet from Don Miguel's book, The Four Agreements, and its implications and help to understand what is happening to the inner child. First of all, when the inner child is hurt in whatever way it comes, the seeking then of the inner child is to do what brings the child what it did receive, the love, the attention, the care, and whatever strategies are used, it is to try to obtain that. But the inner child is built for survival, so it's limited in its wisdom to seek the best path to get the authentic love and authentic safety and peace that is desired. This is where Don Miguel's Dream of the Planet comes in. What he means by the dream of the planet is all the conditioning that humans are subjected to when they're born into their human bodies and experience all the stress, all the chaos of human life. The conditioning are all the rules of our culture, of our family, of the patriarchy, all the influences that we can see and don't see that cause us to make the choices we make constantly. For example, within your family, there are rules about how you behave around the table or not, how you behave around in the house or not. There are rules at school about how to be a good student, how not to get into trouble, and in the playground as well, as your peers impose the kind of rules that bring them what they want. And this is what it's all about, to minimize the chaos in any group or collective situation. And in that way, for most groups, these rules serve a purpose. But in the big picture, all rules keep you in a certain track, and they become so not comfortable, but you're so used to it, you're accustomed to them, that you just do it unconsciously. All the shoulds, all the rules are ways to keep you conforming. And if you stay on that track, as I did for most of my life, the inner child is ruling, helping you survive, helping me survive, but never get to a place where you're open to learning who you are, to become whole, to fulfill your potential. So this is why I want to bring attention to all the rules, and as many of them as you can become aware of, the freer you are to look and say, do I want to follow that rule or not? A very simple cultural rule that I was given in the Hawaiian culture as well as the Japanese American culture was never to show up at a guest's home without a gift in hand. So I always did that until I became conscious of it. And now I decide how necessary and how much time and effort I wanted to put in to providing a gift at the home I'm going to be at. Other kinds of rules govern professions. Lawyers have certain rules, policemen have certain rules, judges, politicians, I don't think there are rules that they seem to abide by. They create their own, just as Congress created a retirement system that they receive a lifetime retirement salary, even if they serve for just one term or something like that. They created the rules and they benefit. So what is important is the overall theme of what I have used in these videos to point out your awareness. The more you become aware, the more you have choices to go along with or not go along with the rules that govern your behavior and even how you see yourself, because the rules cause judgment about whether other people are following rules, whether you're following rules. So you're being criticized to keep you on the right track. For me, it took intuition to break into my intellect ruling my mind, my life, to move off the track. The phrase, listen to the cries of your heart, became an imperative for me. So for a while, I seemed to be in a trance, listening to the cries of my heart, which led me on a healing journey about my broken heart, which I was never aware of until that point. There were traces in my life all along that was a theme for me, but I wasn't conscious until I began this journey to heal my heart. So, intuition is a beautiful way to notice, become aware. So, awareness and intuition are two powerful tools to use to become aware of the binding that you are unaware of. So let me talk about some rules or some way you find yourself in a particular behavior pattern. One is roles, playing the friend role, playing the mother role, the father role, the employee role, or the employer. All the various roles there are in society, they all have rules of how it should be. And if you stay in that, you can become a carbon copy reflecting the rules. So there it keeps you stuck in becoming unaware of your original essence and who you're meant to be. Marianne Williamson said something like, "You came as love, but you learned fear. And your path is to return to love, to unlearn your fears. The inner child trauma parts are all based in trauma that caused a lot of fear. So the scripts written by the trauma parts are based in fear. And all the conformity is about keeping safe. And if you venture off that to become creative, original, and unique, you don't have that safety anymore. You venture into the unknown, and it takes courage to do that. So one way of thinking of going off that path is to stress your creativity. So whenever you see the formulaic, the easy solution to any distress you or a group of people, the family is in, you could say, let's do some out-of-the-box thinking. There is a TV series that I'm engrossed in. It's called The Resident. And the main character and his colleague are internal medicine people. So they're always trying to find solutions to the unique problems that are coming into their space, the ER especially. And when it's an unusual set of symptoms that don't have an easy answer, or finding the solution to a particular patient's diagnoses, and all the usual easy answers don't work. They have to think out of the box, and they challenge each other whenever they're stuck. Let's think out of the box. Let's go over what is obvious, because we make conclusions from the obvious, and take a look at everything, not with a usual lens, but thinking out of the box. So that kind of thinking is excellent to dispel the dream of the planet. It's an aspect of being very creative. When true artists and creatives, such as musicians and story writers, people who put original things together, they are in a space of creating something unique. And to be unique, they have to let go of all the familiar and move in the space of the unknown, which can be scary. And that is how the inner child can interfere. So pushing the creative space, you come into the fear of the inner child, and so it becomes vital that you know a way of healing the trauma parts that show up when you try to remove the dream of the planet, remove all the obstacles to becoming your true self, your original self, becoming whole, and moving into the space of who you were meant to be in this lifetime to serve the world. So that's what the dream of the planet and how inner child wounds work. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you again in the next video. Thank you.